Hey guys, in this video, I wanted to give my thoughts on the Leatherman Garage so far. So the Leatherman Garage has been out for a little over a year now, and so far they've had 4 product releases, and personally, I am pretty disappointed after the last 3 releases. I personally thought the first release was pretty solid, and it gave me high hopes for the program, but the next 3 products that released were pretty disappointing, and in this video, I'm going to detail what I originally was hoping from the Garage and my small reviews on each of the 4 Garage releases. So my initial impressions of the launch of Garage before they even released Mr. Crunch was that this was going to be a platform for special and prototype tools utilizing new materials and new mechanisms and maybe even new tools. And that essence of what I originally thought the Garage was really captured in Mr. Crunch. I really loved Mr. Crunch. I personally wasn't able to grab one when it first came out since I was in school, but Mr. Crunch utilizes new tools on an existing platform, and while the main part of Mr. Crunch, the slip-on pliers that were inspired by Tim Leatherman's original prototype, that was a really cool idea, although it's not necessarily that practical. I thought it was really cool because it's new and they utilized the free platform to implement it. I think that was a really creative and smart way to implement this design onto a modern Leatherman platform. And as weird as this sounds, what I was most interested after seeing this product was actually the implementation of the micro bit driver and a chisel onto the free platform. When I saw Mr. Crunch, not only did I see something new and special that played an homage to the original Leatherman prototype, I saw that Leatherman put on new tools onto the free platform, 2 tools that had not been on the free platform, the micro bit driver and the chisel, and just implement it onto this limited run design. And with that, I thought that they were going to implement these 2 new tools onto a new free model or onto existing free models. Maybe say the free P6 would have the addition of the micro bit driver and the chisel. What's really cool about the chisel is that this is the first time a Leatherman tool has ever featured a chisel. The chisel is pretty popular on Victorinox multi-tools, but they've never really been present on any Leatherman tool past or present, so it was really cool to see a new tool onto a really popular mechanism, the free mechanism. I feel like Mr. Crunch is the best at what the Garage is meant to offer. It allows the engineers at Leatherman to implement creative and new designs. It also allows them to try out new tools on existing platforms. A lot of people, including myself, that are big free fans were a little disappointed that they didn't include the bit drivers, and it's really cool to see that Mr. Crunch, which uses the free platform, implemented the micro bit driver, and I'm really hoping that they're able to implement both the micro bit driver and the regular bit driver onto the free platform sometime in the future. I feel like that would make the free the perfect multi-tool. Implementing the bit drivers onto the free platform would be a very nice addition to the free series. Mr. Crunch was a pretty rock solid start to the Garage, and then they released the Dark Side. This Dark Side, what really made me disappointed in this release was the fact that the quote-unquote new features aren't really new. They already existed on an already made limited edition Leatherman in the Tom Sachs Leatherman, which was stupid limited. I think there were only 1,000 units, and they were also really expensive for whatever reason. Those new features being the ballpoint pen, the tweezers, the scribe. Darkside only includes those 3 tools, but I think the Tom Sachs one also included a pin. So what really disappointed me with this was that they already had an improved version of the Leatherman charge in the Tom Sachs limited edition version with those 4 new scale tools. They fit into the charge platform really easily, and I'm sure everyone would welcome these new additions to the charge for a small price increase. With that in mind, I was really hoping that they would just make a new charge model or simply update the Charge Plus with these scale tools, but instead they made this limited edition Dark Side, which doesn't really change anything to the charge except for the DLC coding and the multicolored G10 scales, which I really didn't care about. Like, I really don't care about it, and when I got this in hand, the blue highlights are barely visible, so the aesthetics of it barely do their job anyways. I really just wish they implemented these scale tools onto an existing charge model or made a new charge model at a higher price. Everyone, including myself, would really welcome these new tools, these new scale tools into the charge model. It doesn't affect the form of the charge. The charge is already a very popular and premium multi-tool that's really well loved by the Leatherman community, and adding new scale tools would have been awesome instead of just making a limited edition release that barely anyone could get. Batch 3 was called Parts. I have mixed feelings about this release. There are plenty of things I actually do like about this, but overall I didn't really care too much about it in the end, especially if they don't implement what they made with this onto existing models or new models. The main feature about this is that it's a regular pocket knife, but it has exchangeable blades. Now, of course, that's not the newest thing in the world. Utility blades and box cutters already exist, and I'm sure there are plenty of pocket knives with exchangeable blades, although maybe not in this same form factor. But what really interested me about Parts was that maybe Leatherman was thinking about implementing exchangeable blades onto new multi-tools. That would be really cool. Parts utilized an S30V drop point blade and a 154cm Warncliffe blade. Not only are they both different steels, but they're both different blade shapes. I feel like exchangeable blades in various shapes and steels on a multi-tool would be excellent rather than just on a pocket knife. I feel like the pocket knife is a nice platform to show off this new feature, but implementing it onto a multi-tool and a multi-tool size blades would be pretty cool. Maybe like Parts include 2 blades at the start, and then maybe sell different blade shapes and different blade steels separately at lower prices. I feel like that could be an interesting platform to a multi-tool, although it could get expensive and there would be a lot of SKUs in that, but it is an interesting idea nonetheless. And then the other gimmick about this release was that apparently it was made utilizing found parts in the factory. I mean, that's kind of cool, but I mean, I really didn't care about that, and I don't think people who buy Leatherman tools would really care about that either. They just really care about the tool set and maybe new features. And last and least is the latest Leatherman batch, batch number 4, the Europe 75. In the teaser email they sent out to all Leatherman subscribers, they said that this tool was inspired by Tim Leatherman and his wife's trip to Europe, that trip that inspired Tim Leatherman to make the first Leatherman tool and eventually the Leatherman company. So that really piqued my interest, although they already did something similar in Mr. Crunch, something based off the original Leatherman tool. So I was definitely wondering what this tool would be. But in the end, what they meant by inspired by the Europe trip was the fact that Europe just has wine, and I guess they drank a lot of wine there. So what they did was made the free T4 and slapped on a corkscrew to it. Yeah, this is probably the most disappointing and lame garage batch. Like, if I had this tool in hand, like, I'm sure it's a great tool, but the fact that this is a garage release for $125, and as I said, it's literally just the free T4's tool set with a corkscrew and an assist attached to the end of it. Alright, here's a little comparison from the Europe 75 and T4. They're not exactly the same, but they're like relatively the same, just with the corkscrew. The T4 seems to lack the can opener that the Europe 75 has, but regardless, it has all the other tools that you'll ever need. It also has tweezers, whereas the Europe 75 doesn't. Of course, the main feature of this is that it includes the corkscrew with the assist, and it also included a bandana, which all the journalists were talking about, like, hey, it comes with a bandana. Like, I really don't care. Like, you guys can probably tell I really dislike batch number 4, and really the whole point is that this is just not innovative. This is just the free T4 with a corkscrew, and the corkscrew isn't even a new tool. There are plenty of older Leatherman models that people liked that had a corkscrew on it, so this just This is just nothing. It's nothing new. It was a pointless design to add to the garage where supposed innovation and new tools and new designs were meant to be tried. Like, this is nothing new. It's a really lame design, and it's very disappointing, especially being the fourth product in. This is the first release of 2023. There were 3 releases during 2022. I'm not too sure how many more garage releases they're gonna make during 2023 and beyond. I'm just really hoping they'll utilize some of the designs from the previous 3 releases and implement them into regular production Leatherman tools. I was hoping that was the point of the platform. They would experiment on design, see customer feedback. Like, everyone loves the fact that Mr. Crunch utilized the micro bit driver and the chisel. Like, hopefully they'll make a new free tool or update like the P4 with these new tools. I feel like that would be really cool. And then, like, the dark side, this does not have to exist. They should have just thrown on the scale tools onto a new charge model. I don't know why they needed to waste a garage release on it. And yeah, those are my rant thoughts on the Leatherman Garage. I've been pretty disappointed, especially with the last release. I'm really hoping the next releases during 2023 are actually new and unique, or maybe even not even garage releases, but just what I want, which is new production Leatherman tools or updated existing Leatherman tools. So what do you guys think of the Leatherman Garage? Are you disappointed like I am, or do you actually like the releases? I definitely like to know down in the comments. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, follow me on my socials, and thanks for watching.